All right, what up, people? It's your boy Chig from I was gonna say Guna Eagle Eye. I caught myself. No, it's not from Guna Eagle Eye. It's the Chig and Ola Combat Show, where we are going to talk to you about the card yesterday, which turned out to be a decent one in the end. The UFC 247 card, headlining with Jon Jones versus Dominick Reyes. As always, is my partner in crime, my co-host. Ola, say hello to the people, Ola.
Yeah, how you doing, people? Thanks for putting this on again. It's gonna be a regular one now, because of the calendar we've got as well. So that's really good. But yeah, it's good to be back again.
Yeah. Also, if you're watching this for the first time, you're watching me for the first time, and you have a Twitter, do go follow us at Ola Chig, which is in Ola's kindly put on the description. I should have put that myself on my description, but he's put that on his description below. So at Ola Chig, go subscribe to that Twitter handle. And also hit that subscribe button. We are gradually, slowly getting there. Grew nice, I think picked up nice 9 subs from our show on Friday.
Yeah, man. Every single sub is a blessing.
So,
We never take you for granted, and your opinion and your viewership is very very much appreciated on this platform.
100%, 100%. And this is probably the first official non-reactionary review that we've done of a show. Because normally, unless it's straight after the show, we don't tend to normally cover the show. But what me and Ola have decided to do moving forward with you guys is we're going to make this a weekly content show. So every Friday, you will see a preview from us, even if it's a 10-15 minute show about a fight night, we'll cover it. About general news, we'll cover it. And we'll do a review on Sunday afternoons. So Friday evenings will be our previews. Reviews will be our Sunday afternoons. Unless the show's on early and we can just literally do it straight after the show.
Yeah, we can do it straight after the show.
Yeah.
Just bang on that real quick. So.
Okay. So let's move forward with the show. As I know people won't be used to this routine yet, so no doubt as people start to realize, hold on, Chig and Ola on, they'll come in hopefully. Did you watch the whole show live then, or did you have to go back and watch anything?
No, I watched everything from the beginning. If you saw in the WhatsApp group, I did message right from the beginning of the show. If anybody was watching,
I saw. So, I woke up for the Lewis fight, of course.
Yeah.
The co-main, the main. I had to re-watch the Lee Murphy fight.
Yeah.
Because I fell asleep during that fight. But yeah, I thought all in all, the card was better than I thought it would be.
Yeah, good prelim. Good prelim.
Any standout fights for you before we get into
it? Majority of it were decisions, and it just pissed me off with the judges. The judges just ruined my entire bloody night. Like,
they did,
they just ruined everything for me. So let's get to the meat and potatoes of the pay-per-view.
Okay. Do you want to go? Do you want to smash? I'll tell you what. Let's let the Jon Jones thing simmer for a little bit. Lewis.
We saved that to last.
What did you think of the fight? Because I'm not going to lie to you, I got worried immediately. From the first clinch, I was like, "Oh no, Lewis is in trouble." What did you think?
Ile Latifi, he came with a game plan, and a lot of it was to do with wrestling. Derek Lewis, because he kind of knew Derek Lewis didn't really have the wrestling nous to try and navigate a fight. He's got a hell of a chin. You have to say, I think Lewis tagged him a couple of times, and sometimes in those kind of scenarios, other people would have been knocked out. And considering he's moved from the light heavy to the heavyweight division, and Lewis is your first, it's like your welcome fight. that's bold. That's bold, and Latifi deserves a ton of credit for that. In my eyes, considering how we went on another day, I would have given it to Latifi, but I'm not mad that Lewis got it. The only thing that I didn't agree with was the whole unanimous decision thing. But I'm not mad. I'm not mad at Lewis getting it. I thought he was the aggressor towards the end of the round. Towards the end of the fight, he definitely came out aggressive in the beginning as well with the flying knees.
Yeah.
And he was doing he was doing a lot of switch kicks. He was doing a lot of switch kicks to the head.
I was like, what's going on?
That's something. It's not new, but he's doing it more often. He did a lot more often in this fight, and it's a welcomed addition to what we usually see from Derek Lewis. And again, his post-fight interview, like I said, that's one thing that when Lewis is fighting, I want him to win just so I can get that part of it. Just so I can get his post-fight interview, and it didn't disappoint. It definitely didn't disappoint. When he said, "You know what? You look at there's after party going here. Come buy me I ain't buy you shit." I thought, yes, Lewis. I ain't buy you shit though. Yeah, but Lewis though, he always comes up with something. I love the guy, and as I said in the preview, I love his story, and I'm happy he won. Obviously, he would have loved to get that knockout. He was looking for it. He was hunting for it. Like if it was like, not today, brother, not today. You know what I mean? You can go get that somewhere else, but not on my debut. You know, he got out of the way. He did what he had to do. And the takedowns that Latifi got.
Hometown decision?
You have to give credit to that. Huh?
Hometown decision?
Yeah. I'd say so. And it's weird because on this particular fight, I still thought Lewis should have won. Well, I wanted him to win anyways. But on another night, if Latifi had got it, would you be mad with the amount of throwdowns and they kept him down there? Yeah, granted, he didn't do no damage. He didn't really work Lewis down there. But Cejudo, when he beat Demetrius Johnson, he didn't do no damage. He just kept him there.
Yeah,
and he counted as takedown.
I thought Cejudo lost that fight.
A lot of people did. But because of the takedowns was what won it for Cejudo. But Cejudo did no damage while he kept him down there. So I could see where Latifi was coming from if he felt bad about losing that fight because of the amount of takedowns that he got. He did control him on the ground. He just didn't do no damage. Some people do takedowns and the opponent gets right back up, but it's counting for takedowns. So I just didn't understand the whole thing. But to me, I'm happy Lewis got the win. And hopefully with the next fight he can get that knockout to break the tie and advance as the most knockout artist in the heavyweight division. So definitely looking forward to that.
Yeah, I think for me, I tend to agree with you. When I first watched the fight, I must confess, I was like, whoa. Like, before the results read out, I thought Latifi might have got it. Just about. But rewatching it today, I slightly changed my mind, I mean, Lewis had more success than I gave him credit for. Like you said, beginning of the fight, lots of flying knee attempts, hit a couple of decent single shots. It was the switch kicking that was very impressive to me.
Yeah, very, very impressive for a big guy.
I'll be honest, I never realized he still had that in his game. I just thought he just resorted to slugging and that was it. Then, I think once the clenches were working for Latifi, he kept going back to it. The problem is it's all well and good clinching someone to the fence. A, you didn't really keep him down there. And B, you didn't do any work when he was on top. So that's what made me think, okay, maybe I overestimated how successful my man was actually being when he was on top.
And sorry if I may add as well. This is the one thing that really pisses me off with the UFC rankings. Um, when you look at the rankings, um, Lewis is six in the rankings, and Rosenstruck is
He was
above
number
him
five
in the rankings.
before.
I'm sure he dropped down to six. He's not even in the top five. The last time I checked,
Interesting.
which was last night.
Yeah.
So it wasn't even number five. It wasn't even top five. Rosenstrike got up there above him, and he's only had one fight beating over him. Like, I'm thinking, so what's happened from Lewis beating Volkov? He's beating did he beat Olenek? I'm not sure but he's beat a couple other guys since Francis, so he's not really lost any fight. So I was just pissed off that he's gone down the rankings like that. And same thing with George. You don't fight anybody in the top five, top six, but you're in the top five rankings, and you ain't beat nobody in the top five. So I don't really understand how the rankings work. It's been a problem, this rankings for a while now. I don't know how they judge it or how people get into top fives and top tens and who you have to be or how many fights you have to have. It's definitely not consistent with how others get into rankings. So hopefully at some point they definitely sort that part of the game out, because I think it's important to know where all these fighters are, and it should be down to who they fought, the caliber of the people they fought. And not long ago, like, Derek Lewis was like number one contender for the title. You know what I mean? All right, he lost to Daniel Cormier, but that's the only person that's beat him in the last 5 fights he's had. He's only lost to Cormier. He beat Stipe. I mean, he beat Francis Ngannou. He beat Volkov. He beat he beat Overeem. I'm sure he fought Overeem, and he just beat this guy here as well. So to me, I don't understand why he's dropped down the rankings, like that. It's strange to me, but there you go. That's UFC for you. They do a lot of strange stuff. But yeah, I just thought I'd add that in there.
I think for me, they're probably trying to justify why my man has a shot against Francis Ngannou, who's ranked number 1, if he's number 9. So I can sort of see why that's happening, but
it's absolutely crazy. You have to earn them rankings on merits and who you beat on the way to get up there. But yeah, it so happens that Darren Till can have one fight in the middleweight and jump into top 5. So this is the kind of thing that I'm talking about. It's not just those guys. I'm not picking on those guys. I'm just generally talking about the rankings as as an entity, if you like. And yeah, it's definitely fucked up at the moment.
All right. Let's get into the co-main, and that is Valentina versus forgotten how to pronounce her name.
Valentina Shevchenko and versus Chikagian.
Chikagian. That's the word.
Yeah.
Pretty much played out how we thought. I didn't think Valentina would completely blow her away, just because I think her height and her movement and the way she fights Chikagian presented a different challenge to, say, Valentina's last 3-4 opponents, where if anything, Valentina was the bigger girl in those instances. Whereas against Chikagian, obviously she's fighting a taller, broader woman. So that presents different challenges, different dynamics for Valentina. Skill set wise, we knew there would not be a problem, but it was more about how could Valentina deal with a different set of dynamics. And to be honest, she dealt with it exactly what I thought she would.
Yeah.
And through ground and pound on the ground. And we felt that for Chig to have any chance, she needed to drag the fight to the ground. And actually, if anything, it was her demise. What do you think? What do you think about what happened?
She got nailed to the cross via crucifix. she got nailed to the cross. May the Lord forgive her sins. I think Shevchenko, she's just too precise. When we talk about a machine, a fighting machine that's just precise, that everything is done for a reason. Every strike, every eye movement, every foot movement, every body movement is for a reason to fuck you up. That's Shevchenko in a nutshell. She doesn't miss. I rarely see her throw a wasteful strike, a strike for no reason. And when she goes to the ground, she's so strong, and she can just hold the opponent down there. And the way she conducts herself in the octagon is elite. That division's got a problem, and Shevchenko is that problem. They got a problem because every time you look who's next in that division, and she keeps saying, you know what, I'm happy here. I want to stay here. I want to dominate, and I welcome all comers. And if you big, and
they created a division for her, so she's by far and away the best person in that division. And she'll always have opponents, but those opponents will never ever be as good as her. There's only one woman that you could argue is as good, if not better than her, and that is Amanda Nunes. Other than that,
she's way too big. She's way too big for 125.
And that's already, to me.
And she's already beat her in the 135.
I think she's the better martial artist, but just beats her in size. That to me is the problem between the two. I
don't think she'll ever make 125. I just think she's too big. It's a big turnaround to make 125. And we know 125 is so comfortable for Shevchenko, and for Nunes to go down to 125 and try and make it. But then again, never say never, because we see Aldo go all the way down there to 135. Try and mix it up with we see Aldo mix it up with Reyes down there. So never say never. It's not impossible, but I just don't think Nunes at this point in her career would want to do it. She'd say, you know what, you want to do it, meet me in the middle, where both of us is both comfortable. You can make 135, I can make it. I'll still have to drop weight, but I can meet you there. You'll have to come up, you know what I mean? Which is not going to be drastic for you, but I have to drop. So, but going to 125 definitely doesn't make sense for Nunes, especially for a title fight. Like, I don't know. She might want to do it just to be able to claim the first woman to do it in 3 divisions. Who knows? Like, who knows? I just don't see it, but I won't rule it out. I mean, if it was to happen, I'd definitely stay up to watch it. I might even pay to watch it. I like both these women, so it's just one of those you gotta say we'll wait and see if it actually goes ahead. But for now, I won't rule it out.
Yeah, I think I think you're right in terms of Shevchenko. Taking all my kind of usual love and praise for her. Everyone knows I've got a soft spot for Shevchenko because she's the only woman.
We know how you feel about Chevy.
It's the only woman that equally attracts me as well as she does scare me. But I mean that with genuine respect. She's an awesome martial artist. She really is. And
she's a very scary woman. Very, very scary.
She just does what she does. And what actually is more frightening than anything, she makes it look so easy.
Oh man,
easy. And that to me, I think if you're the rest of her opponents in that 125 division, I mean, who the heck is who is gonna challenge her? I can't even begin to think who's gonna challenge her.
yeah.
That's why I think it'll be, if anything, it'll be someone stepping up from 115. It'll be an elite artist from 115.
Yeah, you'll have to be an elite artist from 115. You'll have to be somebody, like you said, a Gaidia or a Jessica Andrade, or you'll have to be one of those guys. Even Rose Namajunas has been known to, she's a sparring partner. So maybe that might happen. I don't know how crazy Rose would be at taking that fight, because she definitely knows the power that Shevchenko possesses. So I don't know how quick she will be to jump at the chance of taking a fight like Shevchenko. So, but it'll be nice to see her have like a worthy opponent come through the 125 ranks, and hopefully one day she gets it.
Yeah, I feel you on that one, actually. I feel you on that one. Okay, come on. We've tried to put this off.
Yeah. The elephant in the room, god damn it.
Let's address
Jon Jones versus Reyes.
As you enter the chat room, please do stick a like on this video. Your likes, your traffic, your interaction always helps us get through the algorithms and helps this video get noticed. So please do help us do that by sticking a like on this video. Okay, let's talk about this. I said this immediately in our group chat on WhatsApp.
Yeah.
The fight played out how I thought it would.
Mm-hmm.
I said that. Do you remember when we did our preview? You automatically picked Reyes, and I said I just stopped short of that. And I felt like for me, I was with you in terms of thinking, but I thought one or two things: either Jon Jones would just about do enough to hold on to his title, or there'll be some bullshit. I think we saw a little bit of both. Now, I must admit, when I first watched the fight before the results, I thought, well, Reyes has got this.
At first glance. Thank you.
At first glance. If I'm being honest, in the cold light of day, did Reyes take the first 2 rounds? Absolutely. Did Jon Jones take the last 2 rounds? Absolutely.
Okay. So it comes down to 1 round.
You could have a debate about round 3. And actually, I wouldn't shit on you either way. But you could have a debate about round 3. To me, somehow this was even more close than the what's it called fight? His last fight.
Thiago Santos.
Yeah, and you thought Santos won that one.
We said that on the last show that I would argue that Santos might even nick that one. That was really.
I think Santos nicked that one.
Huh?
But I just felt like Jon Jones did enough there.
Yeah. Okay.
And I must admit, I still think Reyes won this fight, but I don't think it's the robbery that people think it is.
No, I think people only went robbery with the scorecard. Not that Jones won, but the scorecard of the judges giving 4 rounds to Jones.
Yeah, that
the
I agree.
49. I think that's where people started screaming robbery. Plus, during the fight, especially during the Murphy and the Lee fight, Joe Rogan and Dominick Cruz did call out the judges not watching the fight. Yeah. They weren't even watching the fight. So how can you call fights? How can you score fights if you're not watching it? Yeah. Because a lot of people thought, including myself, thought Lee won that fight.
Yeah, but I did too on a rewatch.
but they gave it to Murphy. So I don't know how, again, could be hometown, but both of them are from Houston, so I wouldn't call that a hometown thing. But they weren't watching the fight. They weren't watching it. And the commentators actually pulled them up on that. So if at one point they weren't watching that fight, what makes you think they were watching this fight to be scoring four rounds to Jones? And I'm not hating on Jones because we know what Jones brings to the table. I said it in the preview. You know, Jones is superior. He's done everything Reyes is just doing now. Jones has done it in defending titles. That's a level of superiority that money can't buy. The experience of going 5 rounds, money can't buy that. You know, you have to go through the mill. You have to go through the experience. And Jones showed him what championship rounds is all about.
Yes.
But
100%.
You know, and there's always a but. When the third round is debatable, and in my eyes, I give the third round to Reyes. Some people gave it to Jones. And this is where the kind of unanimous decision as well didn't really, you know what I mean? I don't know where the unanimous decision, because it's razor thing. It's so close. And to come with unanimous decision is ridiculous to me. Because that's giving no credit whatsoever to what Reyes done tonight. And I think Reyes deserves a lot of credit for the way he brought. You see, we mentioned Smith in the last preview, and what Smith was saying, you don't know what you're getting into. You don't. Literally, Reyes dispelled all of that. That if you don't want Jones to fuck with your mind, and you focus and you keep your eyes on the prize, you can get it done. And it'll be very, very interesting what UFC does after this, because I feel Santos deserves a rematch because it wasn't really clear, and the man blew out his ACL from like the second round and went 5 rounds with Jones. And Reyes, you know, is an uncrowned champ in my eyes. Right now, is the uncrowned champion of the light heavyweight division until cleared otherwise. So to me, yeah, Jones won, official decision, and well done to him, because for what he's done in that division, you can't take nothing away from Jones. And I understand it perfectly. If you know, anybody want to say that, you know, Jones deserved to win that, because he really did pull it out in the 4th and the 5th round. And that's what champions do, right? That's why it's called championship rounds. You know, so I just felt if you win 1, 2, and 3, really and truly, you should. And it's not like Reyes did nothing in the 4th and the 5th. He didn't. It's not like he did nothing and just got bad, because that's not the case. He did get some shots in as well, and he gave some, you know, some good takedown defense, which, as you saw in the interview, which you count for something, because if somebody takes you down and you pop right back up, who's draining more energy? The man taking you down or the person popping right back up? It's the man that's taking you down, you know? Yeah. And that's what, if you listen to Adesanya's press conference, when they said about Romero, that would you expect Romero to come with his wrestling? I want him to come with his wrestling, because when he takes me down and I come with my takedown defense, I'm breaking his will. So now, if we go by that logic, and Adesanya gets taken down and it pops right back up, does that mean Romero should be earning the points, or should Adesanya be getting some points in the bank for getting back up? That's you know, we have to think about Reyes in this way.
But if
you're getting taken down and you're coming right back up,
you made an excellent comparison offline, and that was you compared this to Triple C versus what's the best of all time,
Demetrius Johnson.
Oh my gosh, wow, I forgot his name. Demetrius Johnson, yes.
Yeah, Mighty Mouse.
I remember when we talked about that fight many, many months ago. I said at the time, I thought Johnson won the fight.
Yeah.
I thought he won the fight. I thought it was close. I thought that Henry Cejudo did well. But other than the takedowns, he weren't getting busy.
And there was a lot of scrambles. The scrambles in that, the scrambling from Mighty Mouse was ridiculous. That was high-level scrambling. Like, it's been a while since I've seen scrambling like that. That was proper elite, high-level scrambling from both of them, especially from Mighty Mouse, to say, yeah, you know, I ain't staying down here. You ain't giving no damage. But obviously, again, it didn't come for nothing. So, at what point does this start counting for something? At what point does takedown defense mean something?
For me, yes, I do think so. And this is where I guess this whole debate, and we're kind of going off track here, so I'll bring it back to the fight shortly. But this is where there is a fair point. Now, why are boxing judges marking a UFC event?
It makes no sense to me. It makes no sense.
It makes zero sense. Like, listen, it's like asking someone who referees a rugby game to go and referee a football game.
It's madness. To me, we're already at a disadvantage by you just being a boxing judge, but then you don't watch the bloody fight while the fight's going on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we're already at a disadvantage, and now you're not even watching the fight while the fight's going on, and you're about to score the bloody fight. I don't fucking get it.
It makes no form of sense whatsoever. So I think, from my perspective, these are some of the things that I do have an issue with. I know that Joe Rogan goes deeper than that because he has issues with the sport.
Oh yeah, he's seething, but
everything. But I think, from my perspective, you know, it probably is about that time when you have all these ex-boxers or ex-fighters that aren't doing shit. Why not make some of them judges? Like,
I mean,
why not put them to work? Doesn't make any sense.
It's something that UFC as a company, as an entity, will have to try and do, or even if they bring these coaches in training sessions, sparring sessions, MMA sessions, and just watch what these guys educate them exactly, because it doesn't really have to just be fighters. It's like going to a new workplace and you have to do induction. It's not like you know everything about that company, but you learn as you go along, you know. So they can bring them and, you know, give them not just a crash course, but I don't know, the same way everybody has a 6-week camp. The judges can go and have a 6-week camp if they don't know nothing about the fight. Go in gym sessions, sparring sessions, and let the coaches that's coaching the people, let them teach you one or two things, you know, and they can see things from different and other point of view as well, and take it from there, you know. So I thought these guys, they work so hard. Just listening to what Reyes had to do through his camp to get to this main event. He said this is the hardest he's ever trained, the hardest he's ever prepared for any fight, and for a judge to go and give Jones like a 4 round, it's like, come on, you know. All right, you can take a loss, but there's certain ways that, you know, the loss is harder to take when it's like that. If it makes any sense.
Of course. From my perspective, going back to the fight, I thought Reyes did exactly what he should have done. Jon Jones, for me, fights in straight lines. He backs off in straight lines. He comes forward in straight lines. I have no idea why. I've said this to you before. I have no idea why people don't use a lot more up and down movement on him. A lot more. There's a word I'm looking for and I've completely forgotten it. But basically, just move side to side. A lot more lateral. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
A lot more lateral movement with him. I have no idea why people don't do that with him.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think Reyes has now printed a blueprint on how to beat Jones?
Was always there. For me, he did exactly what he should have. check. Look, I ain't gonna lie. You're gonna come out of a Jon Jones fight with sore legs. It's gonna happen, right? But if you start checking some of those leg kicks, doing some of your own oblique kicks and leg kicks to him, right? Getting him to back up, getting his respect. Because to me, that's how he judges his range. He's not a boxer. So normally with boxers that tall, I mean, all right, I know Jon Jones is shorter than Reyes, but Jon Jones obviously has the reach on Reyes. So how Jon Jones judges a lot of his fights, if you're a boxer of that height, the first thing you're teaching that boxer is throw out a jab.
Yeah.
Throw out a jab. Judge that distance, throw out a jab. The way Jon Jones does it is them kicks. He does it in a very unique way. Lots of side kicks, lots of front kicks, and he does that to gauge, first of all, get respect, and then gauge distance. What Reyes did beautifully is he immediately prepared himself that his legs are going to get fucked up. So he's going to check a lot of shit. So he checked a lot of his leg kicks, used plenty of lateral movement, lots of beautiful shots of his own. And I thought, yes, go on. Like, he just kept moving side to side and just stayed off that Jon Jones line.
Well, in the eyes of those judges, you don't get rewarded from that side to side lateral movement. You only get rewarded for coming forward.
That's the problem.
Controlling the center of the octagon.
If you've got fair judges, then you're going to be able to get a decision.
Even though you're doing more damage, moving side to side and moving backwards, you don't get rewarded for it.
You're right. You're absolutely right. Because boxing has those frailties as well, whereby you have some judges that just like aggression. You don't necessarily need to, like, I'll be honest with you, as much as I can't stand Logan Paul, when Logan Paul, I know this is a lot lower level, people, just bear with me. When Logan Paul fought KSI, honestly, he had the better shots. KSI won that fight, deduction points aside, because he had the intent. He kept going forward, looking for those shots.
Just walking him down. Yeah,
because he looked like he wanted it. Ultimately, if you're the person judging it, you're thinking to yourself, all right, well, I suppose I better mark the guy who looks like he's trying to force the action as opposed to someone who isn't. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying Dominick Reyes wasn't forcing the action. I actually thought he threw a lot of shots. But what he did was he was very clever, moved around a lot, just stayed off Jon Jones's, just stayed in his peripheral vision. Didn't want to be straight in front of him. Because Jon Jones in straight lines, and this is the thing, I've always thought this with people, like, why don't people move around when they're with Jon Jones?
You know the craziest thing as well, you know how Jon Jones keeps his fingers out, trying to you know what I mean?
Yesterday.
Right? So what Reyes actually said in one of his interviews is, I punch his fingers. I punch his fingers like 2 times. So I punch his fingers on purpose so he can feel me. Put that shit away. You're not going to put me in the eye.
Yeah.
I punch his fingers just to get, you know what I mean, gain his respect. Like, I know what you now you know that I know what you're doing. So pack it in. You know what I mean? And therefore, you know, as simple and as minute as that is, that sends a big message in a fight.
It does, because it's almost going back to the Anthony Smith words. You can't let this guy dictate everything to you. And that's why he gets people, because people are mesmerized by him. He's a big guy. He's got an extremely long length. Then the next thing you know, you have this big guy planting his fingers into your eyes. You're like, ratted, what am I meant to be doing here? And he fights in straight lines. He wants you in front of him so he could deliver those kicks straight in front of him. He could deliver those punches straight in front of him. And then he can grapple you and manhandle you. Whereas with Dominick Reyes, he was very clever. My man kept moving about. And when he's moving about, Jon Jones gets desperate. And that's when them fingers started coming out, because he couldn't gauge a length through his kicking now. So now he has to gauge a length through his poking, which is the other thing he does. Right? Go on.
Let's not sell this review like Reyes won, because it's starting to sound like it. Because there's some Jon Jones fans out there that might want to come for our neck. So let's not say, but we're just saying the fight as we saw it. You know what I mean? Exactly.
I'm about to take you through the story. The problem is where the fight started to turn. And actually, it started to turn for me probably the last minute of the third round. Quite honestly, I got tired. You got tired.
I thought that was probably the bit where the third round that's debatable, that part.
Yeah,
because
you got tired because
the last minute of third round, I thought he did everything. Yeah,
but he just got knackered because funny enough, they did. I think it was who's that? Is it Cruz?
Yeah, Dominick Cruz.
And Joe Rogan were talking about the fact at the time. They were saying that the only thing about the amount of energy that Dominick Reyes is spending moving around. That yes, this is the perfect game plan, but only if you have the cardio to continue doing it. For 25 minutes, that ain't easy. So
no, I mean for his first time, that's not bad at all. And you have to also look at it from this point of view, that to hang in there with somebody like Jones that's done so many five-round fights in his locker. It's not easy to do it with somebody like Jones. It's so hard to do it with someone like Jones, and he's a phenomenal fighter. He's done a lot for that division. Put all his outside the octagon stuff to one side and just look at his body of work as a mixed martial artist in the UFC at light heavyweight division, and just look at his body of work. It's stunning, absolutely stunning, and you have to start giving it some kind of nod and respect. But do you want to give it enough respect for him to go to the heavyweight? What do you think about that?
Well, that's, I suppose, the way I've titled this video. Boy, as soon as this fight was over, and obviously kind of going in towards the latter end of the fight, he started getting hold of Reyes, dominating him on the ground, pinning him, and really just stepping up the pace. Because he's the one thing that you'll never say about Jon Jones, that boy has excellent cardio, and paces himself throughout a 5-round fight like no one else. Because, like you said, it's his 15th title fight. He's had more title fights than Reyes has had fights. So I think people need to just always remember that and bear that in mind. But I think for me, he should have moved up to heavyweight 3 years ago. To do that now with some of the beasts that are in there, whilst I think he'd beat a Derek Lewis, I think he struggled with a Derek Lewis punch.
Yeah. Oh,
he struggled
quick honorable mention to Justin Taffer, the Mark Hunt looking brother.
Okay, yeah.
Just knocked out Ward. He dropped him. Yeah.
Wow.
Beautifully. You know what I mean? Came with the right hook and the uppercut, man, and just dropped him hard. Yeah. So, I mean, there's some beasts up there in the heavyweight, man. I don't know, man. I don't know.
If I'm Double J and it ain't a special event fight against a Stipe, because I think you could potentially beat a Stipe, a DC maybe if DC decides to hang around, or Francis, I think, would eat him. I'll tell you that.
I think we know.
That's my first message.
I think we know for a fact now why Jones did not want to face DC a heavyweight.
Yeah, of course.
We know that now.
Yeah.
Why? It's just a whole different animal. And if you look at the press conference, like we said in the preview, how Derek Lewis was all coy about, bring Jones, let him come over. You do well. Let him come over.
Purely on skill set. But I don't think it'd be that easy. I honestly don't. I don't think it'd be that easy for Jon Jones.
I mean, one thing he'll have on heavyweight is speed. He'll move out of the way.
He'll have speed
way quicker.
Could you see a Jon Jones grips in a Derek Lewis the way Cormier did? I don't.
But this is the thing. When we talk about speed, there's no. Personally, for my money, I don't think there's any faster heavyweight than Francis. He's the fastest heavyweight, and you don't get away from him. This guy is so fast. For how big he is rapid. He closes distance so fast. He's there, and 1 minute he's right there in your face with the uppercut, and his uppercut is merciless. You know, so it almost borders on self-harming, getting in the octagon with him, because you're going in there. It's you know what I mean? It's a fight that could change your life. It's a fight that could take something out. It takes something away from you when you fight people like that, especially when he knocks people out the way he knocks people out. So, to me, I don't think it's time yet. And Jones has already come out and said he's actually loving life at 205, and he welcomes all comers. He's welcoming everybody. He's not in a hurry to go anywhere. So.
Because the Reyes thing, if nothing else was going to teach him about heavyweight, it was going to be the dynamics of Reyes. Because
that's good news.
He's a skinny heavyweight.
Good news for our boy.
Yeah. For who? Francis.
For Israel, if he stays at light heavy.
Well, see, so that's the other side of the coin.
That's the other side of the coin. You don't want to go to Francis. You got Izzy that might come up and dance with you, and potentially.
Let me ask you a question then. Because obviously, I actually think you like Izzy more than Usman. Let me ask you.
Yeah. I'll tell you the reason. Right, Izzy's born in my city. You know what I mean? Usman is from Auchi, northern part of Nigeria.
Right.
But Usman is a Hausa brother. You know what I mean? So all the Nigerians out there would know what I'm talking about.
Okay,
Usman is a Hausa brother.
I thought it was your people too.
No, Usman is a Hausa brother. Okay. And Israel is proper Yoruba. You know what I mean? Lagos. Yeah.
Okay, so I never knew that.
That's the difference, but we're all one, man. One.
We all one. We all Nigerian out here. Let's say
100%. But I'm just showing you why maybe there's that, because I figured now that you noticed that major of preferential difference that Israel gets. But yeah, man, it's, you know what I mean. It's right there from my city, man. Like
him and AJ are particularly invested.
Exactly.
Now I know.
Now you know.
But yeah, I think for me, let me ask you straight up: does he have a better chance of beating Jon Jones after yesterday?
I don't.
Because maybe there is logic into Izzy saying, not this year, next year. You would have slowed down a little bit more next year.
Yeah, but I still don't think. I still don't think, if I'm giving you the answer now, it doesn't beat Jon Jones now.
I agree, but I think
next year the gap is closing. So next year, when that fight is about ready to happen, ask me that question again. I might have a different answer for you.
I was going to say,
today,
I think
it doesn't beat Jones.
With Izzy, I like to see Izzy just come through this year unscathed, because between Romero and Costa, which, let's face it, are likely to be his two fights, I don't think he'll fight Calamir this year. Jared Calamir. I noticed he's got a lot of respect and time for Calamir.
I mean, injuries happen, people miss weight. There's
possibly,
all
but I
kinds of shit that happen in this division, man.
I don't see him fighting more than twice this year. So let's say it's Romero and then Costa, which in theory he should beat them both. I think in a way it's genius strategy from Izzy, in that you take a Romero out, who would first of all send a lot of shockwaves. If you did it in style, that would send some real shockwaves. And then secondly, it'll be good preparation for Costa. Good preparation for Costa, who, let's face it, they had a really close fight, Romero and Costa.
Some would say Romero won that fight.
And I'm one of those people. So, yeah, I think from my perspective, I feel like if you could get through this year unscathed, undefeated, still with his title, I'd quietly put some money on him.
It still has a lot to do. It has a lot of work ahead. But I'm not even looking that far out into that fight yet, because we have Jan Blachowicz and Corey Anderson dancing tomorrow, and the winner of that could potentially
Jon Jones. He ain't beating Jon Jones.
The winner of that could potentially dance with Jon Jones.
None of us are beating Jon Jones. I hate to listen. I know Jon Jones has taken a bit of a. People have lost a little bit of faith in him.
Look, this is what I just. This is what I just said. Did I not just ask you earlier on? Has Reyes laid the roadmap? Has he laid the blueprint on how to beat Jones?
So just because there's a blueprint, do you think those two are going to be able to follow it?
There's a very, very good possibility with the focus.
Blachowicz is a journeyman. Let's be real. Let's be real. Glorified journeyman. And what's his name? Corey Anderson. Bless him. He's a wrestler. He's a wrestler. You don't have the dynamics.
You don't mean you can't knock somebody out. Look, it's just a question. It's a situation that potentially could happen. Do you know what I think? It's the same thing I think about Liverpool. Yeah? All right? Nobody big is going to beat Liverpool. It's going to be some dead team that's going to come and fuck up the unbeaten run. And I think it's going to be somebody unexpected, like a journeyman, like you're saying, that's going to end up putting Jones away.
He's praying it's Anderson. He's hoping so bad.
I'm praying it's Anderson.
I
didn't even want Reyes to do it. Remember, I was saying this to you. I want Anderson to be the guy to do it. I didn't even want Reyes or Santos to do it. I want Anderson to be the one to do it, because he got proper, legitimate reason to really want to knock Jon Jones off his fucking pedestal, and it'll make for a very compelling fight. So yeah, I definitely want to see that.
I feel sorry for Anderson, because he almost has that Leon Edwards-ness about him. You know?
Yeah, he does.
Everyone acknowledges that he's a good fighter. Does what he does very well. Obviously, been around the game a little while. I know Edwards is reasonably young. I think Edwards is like 30 years old. But you just don't care, like unless you're a fan.
You don't just care, yeah. Or unless you really follow him like that, you don't care for him that much. So I understand that.
A lot of people ask me. So I've got a couple of American friends that love MMA, and they're like, "Oh, you must be really rooting for Edwards against Woodley." I'm like, nah.
Nobody really cares for him like that.
If anything, I like Woodley more.
If you're not beasting, get the fuck out of here.
No, I do like something. I like Darren Till's fighting style.
Darren Till was hyped up, man. You know what I mean? Like fuck you.
I'm trying to think of other British fighters now.
Like I said, I'm
trying to think now. I did like Dan Evans.
Even Dan Hardy at the height of his at the height of his career. So we had a few. It's like English people in tennis, isn't it? You know what I mean? We only really got one name, and that's Andy Murray. And it's not even English; it's Scottish. So unless you go as far back to Tim Hemman and them, man, really got nothing, man. You know.
If it ain't Bisbee, no one really cares. So
yeah, it's like Formula One. The only reason most people are really fucking with Formula One nowadays is because of Lewis. You know what I mean? When Jensen Button and Coulthard was doing it, nobody gave a fuck about fucking Formula One.
Well, I must admit, I've watched Formula One for a long, long time, and the only reason that I've had a reinvigoration of that love is because of Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah,
I'll be honest. As soon as
not when Jensen Button and David Coulthard were doing it. You know what I mean? Who was really watching Formula One?
I probably will stop watching it. To be honest, there's so much to watch. So I'm with you on that one. But I think for me, Jon Jones. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do, even if it means calling in a commission favor, shall we say?
Yeah.
I don't think there was a robbery, but I agree. I think Reyes did win the fight. It was my original instinct. When I watched it again, it was a bit closer than I initially gave it credit for, but it was still my instinct that Reyes won the fight. And I think from that perspective, it's a shame. Jon Jones has had a hell of a scare. My belief on how the next couple of months will work in terms of the light heavyweight division is that I believe that Corey Anderson will beat Blachowicz, because I just don't rate Blachowicz, I'll be honest. I think Corey Anderson will beat Blachowicz.
I'd agree with that.
And I think he'll go on to face Jon Jones in September. That's the way I see it going now.
We'll see. Let's do that preview on Friday, because that fight is happening on Saturday night.
Okay.
So we'll see what the card is saying, and then we'll get right to it.
Okay, that's that.
And on that note, you guys make sure you tune in next Friday. Friday coming.
Yeah, there you go. So next Friday, guys, we'll be doing a preview, probably around 7, 8, something like that. We'll be doing a preview, just quickly talking about that card, a couple of other bits and bobs. MMA news, baby. We're going to do a lot more of that stuff. So keep it locked. A lot more regular content coming your way. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Also, go follow Ola Chig on Twitter. Hopefully, if the Twitter gets popping, we'll open an Instagram account. So, but we don't want to do both. We don't want to overkill you guys. So at least go and follow the Twitter for now, and then go from there. Yeah. Excuse me. I'm trying to suppress. I'm trying not to burp on air. Have you ever seen me doing that? So yeah. All right. So guys, we're out of here. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and Ola, take us out, baby.
Salute.
All right. Salute. We out. Boots.